You know, inside your wallet right now, you're holding one of the most powerful financial tools ever created, a credit card. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the 6 golden rules to make absolutely sure that you are the master of your credit and not the other way around.
Because that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? A credit card can be your absolute best friend, unlocking awesome rewards, building your credit score, and just making life incredibly convenient. Or it can be your worst enemy, burying you in a mountain of high-interest debt. It all depends on how you play the game.
So that's the big question, right? How do you make sure you are always in control? How do you become the master? Well, the answer is in a few simple but really powerful golden rules. And listen, here is the absolute most important one. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this: pay your bill in full every single month. This is the bedrock, the non-negotiable foundation of your financial health.
Why is this so critical? Well, let me just throw a number at you. $33,000. What is that? That's the shocking amount of pure interest you could end up paying on a pretty common debt scenario if you fall into that dreaded minimum payment trap.
Let's actually break down how this nightmare happens. So imagine you've got a $20,000 balance. If you only pay the minimum each month, it would take you, get this, 47 years to pay it off. And even worse, you'd pay an extra $33,000 in interest. You're paying more in interest than the original debt. It is never, ever worth it.
And beyond just saving you a fortune, paying on time gives you a massive reward. Your payment history is the single biggest factor in your credit score. It accounts for a full 35% of it. All lenders really want to see is that you're reliable. It's the easiest win for building great credit.
So, how do you guarantee you follow this rule? It's so simple. Go into your account right now, like today, and set up automatic payments for the full statement balance. Just set it, forget it, and you'll never have to waste a single thought on interest or late fees again.
Okay, so once you've got that foundation locked in, let's move on to some smarter, long-term strategies. These next rules are all about playing the long game to protect and actively grow your credit score.
Okay, next up is a term you absolutely have to know: your credit utilization rate. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but it's just the amount you owe divided by your total credit limit. This number is a huge deal. It makes up another 30% of your credit score.
Let me paint a picture for you. Let's say you have a $3,000 credit limit, and you spend all $3,000 of it. Well, your utilization rate is 100%. Now, to a lender, that looks kind of risky. It makes it seem like you're maxed out and maybe struggling a bit. But now, imagine you spend the exact same $3,000, but your total credit limit is $10,000. Suddenly, your utilization rate plummets to a much healthier 30%. Lenders see that and they think, oh, okay, this person is using credit responsibly. When it comes to utilization, lower is always better.
So what's the easiest hack to improve this number? Just ask for a credit limit increase. Seriously, a simple phone call or a few clicks in your banking app can instantly drop your utilization rate and give your score a nice little boost. But, and I cannot stress this enough, this is not an excuse to spend more money. You're only doing this to improve the ratio. The next rule is all about time. See, lenders love to see a long, consistent track record of you using credit responsibly. The longer you've had an account open and in good shape, the more it helps your score. And that is why you should almost never cancel your oldest credit cards.
But what if you don't really use that old card from college anymore? Well, banks will sometimes close accounts if they're inactive. So here's a fantastic pro tip. Just put a small recurring bill on it, like say your Spotify subscription, and set up autopay. It takes zero effort, but it keeps that valuable credit history alive and working for you.
All right, so we've covered all the defensive moves, how to protect your finances and your score. Now, let's switch to offense. How do you start getting more value from your credit cards than you give to the banks?
It all starts with a really simple mindset. There are benefits out there for you, but you have to be willing to ask for them. There's this great story about a guy who asked his future wife out. The first time, she actually said no. But he was persistent, and hey, it worked out. The exact same principle applies to your credit cards.
So here's how you put that into practice. If you have a card that has an annual fee, just call the bank. Politely say, hey, I've been a good customer and I'm just weighing whether this fee is worth it for me. Then ask if they can waive it. Even if they say no, they'll often offer you a retention incentive, like bonus points, just to keep you happy.
And that's just scratching the surface.
Are you actually using all the free stuff your cards are probably already offering you? Think about it. Extended warranties on things you buy, free credit for TSA PreCheck, trip cancellation insurance, even free hotel nights. These perks can literally save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Now, a quick but really important word of warning here. When you're chasing rewards, it is so easy to overcomplicate things. Trying to manage a dozen cards with all their different rules and due dates, that can honestly get more complex than managing a six-figure investment portfolio. A simple system that you can actually manage is always better than a complicated one you can't.
So let's bring it all home. When you pay in full, manage your account smartly, and then actively go look for value, you totally flip the script. You're not just a customer anymore, you are in the driver's seat. It's your turn to beat the house.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Credit cards are designed for the banks to make a profit, a lot of times at our expense, but it does not have to be that way. If you can follow these golden rules, you get all of the awesome benefits while completely dodging the downsides. You really can beat the house.
So, the only question left is, now that you know how the game is played, are you ready to take control?